Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. My name's Linda and welcome to today's episode. I want to connect with you in regards to how to begin examining what's stopping me from exercising. And when we've come from childhood abuse, toxic, dysfunctional backgrounds, there can be a number of things that we need to examine and look at leading up to our ability to exercise. And I really noticed that today when I was at gym, and I don't recommend gym for everybody, I only go and use an exercise bike, but I became aware of quite a number of things that not only have the potential to stop us from starting, but also over time they're things that can interrupt our ability to exercise. So for those who don't know me, my name's Linda. I'm a trauma recovery coach and I do these episodes so that one, we'll have language around what we need to learn. Two, we can take all the information that we gather here that stands out like a light bulb and take it to our therapist or trauma recovery coach, and we can get them to give us personalised strategies or to work with us to have personalised strategies in order that we can begin to change our life. Okay, so let's have a quick look today at things that may come up that we may need to examine along the road to getting our bodies moving. Now, one of the things that can happen is we can have a meltdown, we can get triggered, etc., because it's something new. We haven't learned it as a child, we haven't learnt the discipline. Our brain will get triggered that I'm not safe because I don't know how to do this. I feel like I'm out of control. There are so many things that can trigger us, but we now have the ability to overcome those. Now, if you want to work with your triggers, I've done a video on how to work with your triggers. So I'll put that link down below as well. Now, we can avoid exercise because we have eternity thinking. When we are abused as a child, we have no concept of time. We have no concept of years passing and anything to do with time. I know for me it wasn't until I got to high school that I began to become, like I could read the time. We can read the time, that's not an issue. But to become aware of the concept of time and its limits didn't start coming into play till high school because we were on 40-minute periods, okay? So each subject had a 40-minute period, or we had a double period and then we went for 80 minutes to learn. And I think these days, though, it's sometimes the periods at high school can be actually less of time. But over time, over the years, with everything that's happened in my life, I became less aware of time, but now I'm coming back into a greater awareness of time. And what I found out was this eternity thinking comes from, comes from the childhood abuse when our senses are so overwhelmed that we believe that this will go on and on and on and on and on, okay? Now, we have to counteract that thinking, but how can we counteract what we didn't know about? We can't. So when I read about eternity thinking, I went, oh my goodness, that is just so true for me, that there is a belief in me that I can't change things because it will just go on and on and on. And we can counteract that with different strategies, absolutely. It can be a challenge because when we exercise, we're actually getting more oxygen into our blood. We do need this. It's part of being able to overcome hyperarousal. My brain's just gone out the window for a Monday morning, and it happens. Hypervigilance, okay? So you can become aware of hypervigilance. Well, I certainly became aware of hypervigilance when I became aware that I walked around with my fists like this. I could be sitting in the car and I became more aware. I developed an awareness of when I'm holding myself like this, or my toes were curled up, and as I become more and more aware of my body, so I choose to, okay, I'm going to open my hands and just relax. Breathe, get that oxygen in, I'm safe to relax. It does take time to develop that awareness, but as we develop that awareness, we realise that we don't want to walk around like this all the time, okay? We can make those choices now not to have to hold on for life. You know, we can build ourselves into a space of enjoying each day. Slow breathing will help this. Now, I began the slow breathing with just 1 minute a night, every night in bed, because I was desperate to overcome insomnia. When I heard that 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out was optimal breathing for the human body, I went, right, I obviously don't breathe 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out every breath of every day. So when I went to bed and I was comfortable, I began to do the 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. Plus, I would do things like put a book on my chest, not a heavy one, but with enough of a weight so that I could feel it moving up and down. I would count the breaths with each finger, so one for each breath, and then, as I advanced to more than 1 minute, I count the minutes. Oftentimes, this was enough to help stop the loop in my brain because I'd keep going back to the focus. So even if I had to restart, I'd keep going back to the focus of the breathing in order that I could begin to retrain my brain that I am safe enough to breathe. Okay, because that's how bad the hypervigilance was in me. It was so hardwired. Yeah. Okay, you get it. If you've been like it, you understand it. And look, until we start becoming conscious of it and how hardwired we are for it, it makes it hard to believe that we've got something to change. So if you can just do the 1 minute each night in bed, it will also contribute to you being able to begin to have strategies to work towards heading to exercise, okay? Now, with complex Ptsd, we can often get in our mind and go, right, I'm going to be so focused, I'm going to do this, and we do. But the trouble is, or the challenge that we face further down the road, is that we run out of brain power because we're exhausted. So what we want to be doing is working towards having our thoughts, our emotions, and our breath, our body, our spirits are all working together so that we can maintain our ability to exercise or to get to exercise. It might sound hard, but it's not. The breathing is the key to getting into that awareness. So use your slow breathing to get into that awareness of yourself in the reality, in the here and now, and train your thoughts that it's okay to be right here, right now, when I'm in bed. And I practice doing it in bed every night. One, to help me overcome the insomnia and get off the looping of the brain, but also so that I could feel safe, so I didn't get triggered when I was doing the breathing, okay? And that's important. We want to give ourselves every opportunity to succeed, okay? We can do this. All right, you may encounter beliefs that stop you from beginning the exercise around self-worth and self-value. So look at your thoughts that are saying, no, what for? Why? I can't do this, etc., etc. Whatever the negative is, counteract it with, oh, come on, I'm an adult now, I can do this. Believe in yourself, okay? I believe you can do it because I've had to do the work to get to do it. So I know it's possible, but I believe in you in doing this because you want to be set free, okay? You want to get into living a full life where we feel alive, all right? Now, you also may come across either a belief or a challenge that comes up, an awareness and a knowing, around self-respect for our body. We have never ever been taught self-respect for our body. If you're like me in my upbringing, I was given a heck of a lot of rules, okay? But there was no awareness built into me of my body at all. And that's okay. That's just what's happened for generations in our families. But we want to build that awareness into our lives of how grateful we are that our bodies carried us this far. And I am certainly grateful, especially as my mother died young. She died younger than I am now. And so I've come to understand that I develop a healthy respect for my body. I don't just have it, magically appear out of thin air. It just doesn't happen. But learning a deep sense of gratitude, so not just giving thanks from my mind, it's developing that deep sense of gratitude. Do I have it yet? No. But I work on it. And that way it gives me the strength on the days when I wake up and I think, oh, crikey, the last thing I want to do is get out of bed and exercise. I go, right, exercise is one way I can give thanks and feel gratitude that my body can take me further than I've ever thought I'd get. Okay? Our emotions. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how often I feel like I don't want to exercise. And I don't know why it happens. I don't know whether it's from the brain going, be safe, stay in bed. I don't know whether sometimes it could just be a comfort to stay in bed. But what's happened is over time is that I've come to understand that if I don't make the effort to counteract what's going on for me emotionally, then I actually slip further down into the depression that's caused from the trauma, okay? And I hate it. I hate it when the depression comes more than I hate making the effort to get out of bed and go to gym. And I've also come to understand if I don't get out of bed and go to gym first up, I never get there. Well, that's not 100% true, but for the majority of time, it's best for me to do my meditation prayer in the morning and then get up and just go straight to gym, ignoring everything and everyone else. Because if I'm not think of it this way, if I'm not putting my face mask on first in the airplane, then I'm not going to be able to help my child. So if I'm not putting that face mask on first in my day-to-day life, how am I going to help anybody else? I won't. I'll run out of air, okay? So think about what's happening for you in the morning and sometimes cut the thoughts off and just get up and do. Sometimes we need to do that. It's about making a healthy choice for your individual situation. Now, some of the time when we go to begin exercising, the brain has this deep need to be safe, but we want to shift that emotional energy into the space of needing, okay, I am safe here in my home, so I'm the adult and I'm going to make this decision to exercise irrespective of what direction my thoughts go. And it's this real fine line, and we go, right, I've got to make this decision to exercise. So as I push towards the exercise, every part of me is going, no, 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 no. But then I find if I make the choice to exercise, I end up over here where my body's going, oh yes, thank goodness she did it. You know what I mean? And we experience this all the time. And we do. I'm actually fortunate because I've continued to push and push and push. Now, for the first time in my life, I'm starting to get down into the feeling of my body. And I tell you what, my body aches from holding on through hypervigilance for decades. Okay? Thank you. At the moment, my body is aching so much. So I've taken some Nurofen to take the edge off, but not, hi Roger, but not enough that I can't feel it. What I am going to do though, and this will help whether you can feel your body or not, what I am going to do is get some Radox, which is perfumed. So if you're in America, you call it Epsom salts. But in Australia, we have a brand name called Radox, and it's got a perfume to it. and you can actually get it in a gel. And if you get one of those loofah sponges and put it on and rub it all over your body, because of the smells as well, it actually helps your muscles relax. So it feels really good. So try and find something like that that is an equivalent for you, whatever country you're in, that helps your muscles relax. Okay, it's good stuff. And that way, as we're combating it from the outside, we'll also be able to get more oxygen into our body as we develop strategies to get us to start exercising. So I've just been through as well, confronting the anxiety. Stand up to your anxiety and tell it to take a back seat, but breathe through it, and you are going to do these stretching exercises. What I will do is put a link down below this, once I'm finished, for some gentle stretching exercises that you can do in your armchair at home. So because you're at home, you're in an armchair, you're going to be feeling safe. If at any time you get triggered, just stay with the one movement of your body. So when I go to gym, I don't do this whole workout. My cognitive function cannot cope with doing more than one exercise at a time. I get triggered. So I go to gym, one, because it gets me out of the house, and two, because I go there and it helps me become more aware of what's around me. But I only ever get on the gym bike, and I practice feeling my breath. I practice knowing what's happening in my thoughts and my feelings, and working through it from all different directions, so I could get to this point where I'm free. Okay, well, becoming free for my body to relax. And think of it this way: how are we going to let go of excess weight if we can't feel everything that our body's holding on to? It's just not going to happen. And from somebody who did it, it's just not going to happen. Another way to confront the anxiety, though, is journaling. And another way to get ready to exercise is the night before, journaling and setting up in your mind how you're going to go about the process of exercise. Okay? When you do that, you'll find that it becomes much easier in the morning to get up and exercise, because you've already put it into your imagination and you know how it's going to go. 3 or 4 days of doing that, you will find that you're able to get up and do the gentle exercises that I put down below. Okay, so we call that setting the scene. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in, Rolga. Now, if you have any questions whatsoever about any of the information, don't hesitate to comment down below. I'm always happy to help you. Please see your therapist or your trauma recovery coach and get a personalised strategy so that you can build up your authentic self and know which direction you want to take with this. Okay? Commitment, consistency are important every single day. So be committed to the process no matter what one you choose, and have the courage to go where you've never walked before. And I know you can do this. I believe in you. Take notes and go and get your personalised strategy so that this time next month you will have made steps to move forward. And I look forward to seeing you achieve the life that you want to live. Okay, thanks for joining in, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.